All right, so I'll get started. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. Some of you may have joined our webinar in the past, but a lot of you are new members. So we just wanted to go over how our programs work and how you can get as many coats as possible. So if you are a new partner, welcome, and I hope that you find this helpful. We do want this to be pretty quick, so we're going to go through things pretty fast, but hopefully it's informative, and then you'll learn how to collect and receive as many coats as you can. The purpose, again, is just to kind of explain our programs and then how we can help you get coats for those you need. So next slide, please. Thank you. So I'm Jen Haynes, Director of Programs and Agency Relations. And then we're also joined by Beth, our President and CEO. So she's going to talk to you a little bit today to start us off and just give us some background about One Warm Coat. We do have a question and answer button at the bottom. So if you have questions, please feel free to put them in there, and we will definitely try to get to as many as we can at the end.
Welcome, everyone. We have 133 people online right now, so that's fantastic. I really want to thank you for being here and for being one of our agency partners. Our mission is to provide free coats to children and adults in need while promoting volunteerism and environmental sustainability. And we've been doing that for 31 years. But we would not be able to do it without you, our agency partners. You are the heart of our organization. We don't distribute coats directly to clients. You all are the ones who distribute the coats. And so your relationship with us is very important to our program and our mission. And we're grateful for each of you. And thank you for taking the time to be here with us. Next slide. So I mentioned that we've been around for 31 years. We were founded in San Francisco by one woman who had a coat she wanted to donate. And the program was just local for about 7 years. And then over the next 7 years, expanded to be more regional, and now has grown to incorporate all 50 states and some parts of Canada as well. And during that time, we've been able to facilitate the collection and distribution of more than 8 million coats. We've had more than 49,000 coat drives take place across the country. And also a really key element of that is the environmental sustainability and keeping items that still have some great years in them from going into landfills. So that's a really important part of our mission as well. Next slide. This is a diagram that explains really the operations model that One Warm Coat has. As an organization, we're a national organization, but we have local impact because of you, our agency partners. And really, our primary purpose is to raise awareness that will then drive volunteers to hold coat drives, people across the country to donate coats and make donations. And then those coats come through us to you, our nonprofit partners. And one of the things I love about working with this group is the huge variety of missions. Some of you are focusing on serving people who are experiencing homelessness. Some of you are focused on serving veterans, senior citizens, low-income families, and just absolutely love the huge range of missions. And we feel like our mission is to provide warmth for your clients so that you can use your resources, both your human resources and your financial resources, to focus on whatever your primary mission is. Next slide, please. We are really privileged to have so many of you partner with us. You can see on this map the dots across the country. You can see that in some places we have a lot of agency partners, which is phenomenal. And in some places, primarily the more sparsely populated regions of the country, we have less partners. A couple of things. One, if you are in one of those more sparsely populated areas, we are definitely actively looking for more partner agencies. So feel free to share our information with your nonprofit friends in your area and invite them to come join the network. As you know, it's free to become a member. And in order to be eligible, you have to be a 501c3 in good standing or a school. And then when you register, you also are committing to giving away all of the coats that you receive through One Worm Coat, giving those away free of charge and also free of any kind of discrimination. So if you know of another nonprofit that meets those criteria that you feel could benefit from a partnership with us, we would love to welcome them. Next slide, please. And Jen is going to take you through, once you've registered, and all of you, I believe, are already partners, what happens next. I did see on the poll that it looked like a little less than half of you were brand new. So you'd been with us for less than a year. So this is going to be especially crucial for you. So Jen, our Director of Programs, is going to talk to you about this.
Okay, great. Thanks, Beth. So yeah, since a lot of you are new to our network and learning how we operate, the first thing I want to emphasize is that it's really important to make sure that your listing on our nonprofit locator map is up to date and accurate. We do now have a system where you can log in at any time to our portal to make changes and updates. And if you need that link or you have any issues trying to log in or change the information, you can always contact me. If at any time you need to be hidden from the nonprofit locator map, you can just let us know if you've reached capacity as far as the number of coats, or you can't accept coats for whatever reason for a short period of time. Just let us know and we can temporarily remove you from the map. It's also really helpful if you follow us on social media. We always post lots of date updates and ideas. And it's just a really good way to keep in touch with us. There are also tons of resources on our website, which we're going to talk a little bit more about in a bit. And you can add our official partner seal to your website. You can find it on the nonprofit partner resource page, or I can send it to you. Next slide. So let's talk about all the different ways you can receive coats. We always suggest that you hold your own coat drive, and I'm going to provide more details about how to do that. We also help you connect with our ambassador coat drives, and these are the drives that are being held in your local communities. We work with retailers to hold coat drives in their store locations, and we also get coat donations from retailers and manufacturers through our Zero Waste initiative. These are the donations that are overstock or regular items that would otherwise be disposed of. And then we have our disaster relief program. So let's talk about why it's good to hold your own coat drive and how this really is the best way to guarantee that you're going to receive coats. So we have a lot of ideas for you. And I know for a lot of nonprofits, I've worked in this world for a long time, and I know that you might have limited staff or you don't really think you have the capacity to hold your own coat drive. But there are a few ways that we try to make it easier and to get as many coats as possible to you. So you should see the poll that just popped up. We're just curious how many of you have held your own coat drive in the past. So the first step is to register your coat drive, and you do this in a special place on our website. It's for our partners, and you can see where it is here on the toolbar on our main webpage. This then will walk you through all of the quick steps to make your own coat drive page and to help get resources. Prior to doing this, you may want to think about dates that you want to hold it, good drop-off locations, how many coats you really need, some of the other kind of details, but you can always go back to your coat drive page and make updates and changes. Next slide, please. Abby, can we move? Thank you so much. Okay, so once you've registered your own drive, your drop-off location, wherever you decide that's going to be, maybe you'll have multiple places, will appear on our Coat Drive map. So this is separate from our nonprofit locator map, and this is used by anyone who's looking to donate a coat. This map then tells them where they go within their community to drop off coats. So we suggest a really great thing to do is to reach out to businesses, churches, grocery stores. I mean, any place that really gets a lot of foot traffic, to ask them if they'll place a collection bin for you. If you have an existing relationship with the business in your community, it's a great thing to reach out and ask them. A lot of times they're willing to put a box near the front of their store. Sometimes businesses will even offer an incentive if someone donates, and they'll help you promote that you have a need for coats. So on our social media and website, again, we have lots of great ideas and resources about how to let people know that you're holding a coat drive and that the need is so great. So then once you do collect coats and your drive ends, then you're free to distribute those coats to the people you're working with and those who are in need. Next slide, please. So this is just getting into the nitty-gritty a little bit about ways to help you get lots of coats. When you register, you do set a goal, and the web page will be automatically created for you. You can then send that out to provide all of the details about where to drop off coats, the dates, what you need, whether you're collecting children's coats or adults, or both, just all of the details about your drive. And then again, partnering with the business, an office building, the church, is really a great idea, along with the incentives. On our website, we have lots of good graphics, posters to print, that can help you promote. And then a lot of times those printouts too, people use to decorate boxes for the collection. We have some sample ideas of these on our website, and then social media, we're posting new ideas all the time. We also have a press release that you can download and adapt to send to local media. A lot of times they're more than happy to help you promote and show how much need there is. Another really good idea is holding a one-time event. You can plan something like maybe a drive-through, like 2 hours on a Saturday, or any type of event that might work for your type of organization. And then you can distribute those coats really soon afterwards if storage options are a problem. It's really great to get your board members, your volunteers engaged, ask them to help organize the drive on their own, maybe hold their own coat drive, or post things on social media to let people know where to drop things off. So those were some of the ideas about holding your own drive. These are our ambassador coat drives. This is really our main program and how the bulk of our coats are collected. Our ambassadors are any person or group that holds a coat drive as a volunteer. After they've held their drive and they have coats to donate, they then use our nonprofit locator map, which is how they find you guys, to know who's in need in their community. So that's why it's really important to make sure that your information is up to date on the map, and to definitely get back to ambassadors when they reach out about dropping off coats. If they don't hear from you, they may move on to another agency. But even if you can't accept coats at that time, if you can just let them know, because the ambassadors are really working for you. Next slide, please. So we also have our retail coat drives. And we work with a lot of different retail companies to hold drives in their store locations. In the past, we've partnered with Eddie Bauer for several years. Unfortunately, this year, they're not able to hold coat drives for us. But Our retail partners do change each year, and we're always trying to get more. That is really a big bulk of what we do, is trying to get retailers to partner with us. So if we have been able to match you with a retail store near you, we'll send an email to you to let you know. It does require that you have to be able to pick up the coats, usually when the drive is over, sometimes even during the drive, if they're collecting a ton of coats and they just don't have the storage. So again, like the ambassadors, we just ask that you get back to them as soon as possible to arrange pickup. So it is possible, and it's actually pretty much inevitable, that through these 3 programs I just went over, you are likely going to receive a coat or even several coats that are not wearable. We have another poll. If you can let us know what you do if you receive anything that you don't want to hand out. So we really do emphasize to our ambassadors, to the retail stores, everybody, that only gently worn coats should be donated without holes or stains or tears, but it does happen. And we know that you don't want to hand those coats out. It's preferable if you can recycle those unusable coats. And there are a lot more textile recycling options now. Some Goodwills even accept textiles that they recycle or send away to recycle. And you can Google, there are places to drop off in lots of areas. I even got something recently about an organization that's picking up where I live. So we hope to list some of those additional resources on our website soon. So we also have our Zero Waste Initiative program. Like I said, we're always reaching out to retailers about holding coat drives, but also about donating their overstock, irregular samples. And we just never know when we're going to get calls from them or how much they're going to donate or really what's going to be available. So when we do get a notice from them that they have something they can donate, we match the donation as best we can with an agency's needs and what kind of the particulars are of the donation. Because many times the retail donor may want the pallets or the boxes to be picked up at their warehouse rather than being able to ship them. So it means that you have to be close to the warehouse with maybe a truck to be able to go pick up. So we do know that the need is huge. We know that we're not getting enough coats to everybody that needs them. And I promise we really are doing everything we can to get more coat donations. We have new agencies join our network every day, and they're just, simply aren't enough. But we really are trying to get these types of donations to you as much as possible. So if you are the recipient of a bigger donation like this, we do require that you send photos and acknowledgement notes or a letter afterwards. It's really crucial. Posting on social media is a huge help because that's what drives these donations from our corporate donors. So we have you sign an agreement before receiving anything that you're going to provide photos and that sort of thing afterwards. And then lastly, we have our disaster relief program. So if there is a natural disaster, we always reach out to the retailers and manufacturers that we have a relationship with right away to see if they can help. And many times they will rally and try to get us whatever they can. So if you're in an area that you experience a natural disaster, please let us know if you're able to provide assistance, if you're one of the organizations on the ground meeting with victims, that sort of thing, because we want to know who to send it to that's going to be able to get it to the people that need it most. Next slide, please. Thanks. So once you do receive coats, we really need for you to give us your feedback, send photos of the coats being distributed, provide thank you notes. We love drawings and notes from the kids. Anything you can share on social media, as I've mentioned several times, but this is really vitally important to us getting future donations and just getting more folks to hold coat drives. So we do understand that sometimes the people you're working with may not want their photo taken, and that's perfectly fine. You know, whatever works for you in terms of what you can send us, but it really is important to get this feedback. So I'm going to turn it back over to Beth, and she's going to tell us about, we have an upcoming One Warm Coat Day.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much, Jen, and thanks for organizing this. I think it's got some really good information for our agency partners. Every year we have a day of awareness, One Warm Coat Day. This year it's going to be on Tuesday, October 17th. And it's really kind of the kickoff for coat drive season. During the height of coat drive season, which is kind of October, November, December, January, a little bit, the Donate Coats map on our website gets more than 100,000 visitors. And anyone in the country who Googles donate a coat or looking for a coat drive near me is likely to be driven to that map. So that was one of the things Jen mentioned. If you hold a coat drive, you can appear on that Donate Coats map for someone who's looking for a place to donate coats to find your coat drive locations to take their coats to. So One Warm Coat Day is a great opportunity for you to share on social media that you need coats for the clients that you serve. And there's a lot of communication and conversation happening on social media every year on One Warm Coat Day. The Weather Channel sponsors it. They mention us every hour throughout the day. A lot of our sponsors are giving shout outs to us. We love it when our agencies post a thank you or a notice about needing coats this year and tag us. So please, use these hashtags, tag us, and join in the conversation on One Warm Coat Day to help raise awareness for the need in your community. Next slide.
So Patty, can you see the questions and let us know?
Yes, so we do have a few that have come in, two that are similar, or how do we connect with an ambassador or a retail location? Can you speak to that?
Yeah, so ambassadors, they register with us, and we are always reminding them to go to the nonprofit locator map to find the agencies in their area that are in need. So they will reach out to you directly. Kind of the same thing with the retail partners is that we will reach out to you to let you know if we've been able to match you with one of those store locations. We try to do it within 20 miles of the store location, stay within that radius, because it is required that you pick up the coats. Sometimes if we don't have an agency that close, we will ask if you can go a little bit further. But because our retail partners are changing every year, it's really, we do try to match as much as we can and kind of make sure that agencies, just because one agency was matched the previous year with a retailer doesn't necessarily mean that we can match them again, especially as we have new partners join. So it's all of that really with the retail stores kind of goes through us.
So I just wanted to,
sorry,
I'm sorry, Patty. I was just going to say that just to clarify, for the ambassadors, that's the volunteers that are holding coat drives, they are asked to deliver the coats to you. So you should not have to go pick up coats from an ambassador coat drive. We tell our ambassadors, look on our map, reach out to the agency to make sure that there's a good time for you to drop the coats off. The only time we ask you to go pick up coats is with our larger national retail partners from their local stores. And that's one of the ways that we incentivize those big national retail chains to work with us. So we know that it's more of a challenge, but it's a way that we can make sure that we get more coats to you.
And then the other question, was once someone has received coats from an ambassador or a retail partner, is it appropriate for them to reach out directly later to inquire about partnering again?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, one of the things that we've loved to see is how the volunteer ambassadors get to know an agency and, form a relationship with you. And, as Jen was mentioning about holding your own coat drive, if an ambassador in particular has held a coat drive and brought you the coats before, I 100% think you should reach back out to them, tell them how wonderful it was to receive their coats, and ask them if they would consider holding a drive again. The retail partners is a little bit different because, as Jen mentioned, they don't always continue from year to year. So with them, it might be better to check in with One Warm Coat team first and see if that retailer is going to be a sponsor again this year.
Another question about giving donation receipts to donors on behalf of your agency or from One Warm Coat if they do a coat drive.
Jen, do you want to take this one?
Yeah, sure. So we do have on our website, you can download a receipt template. We also, if it's a retail donor, we are thanking them through One Warm Coat. You're more than welcome to also send us anything that you want us to pass on to them. But for the receipts, the best thing to do is to download that template from our website.
Are we able to seek stores on our own to partner with us to participate in our coat drive?
Yes. Yes, we would love for you to do that. Especially if you have a relationship with a local store or with a local location of a national chain. Like Jen was mentioning, maybe it's a grocery store that's down the street from your agency. That would be a really great place to have a coat collection bin. Places with a lot of foot traffic, and we encourage you to feel free to reach out, and we want you to be successful in getting as many coats as possible.
There's no other questions right now. If anyone has any, you can feel free to submit them to have them answered live. If not, we could always answer them over email, and we will send a recording of the webinar and the PowerPoint presentation out through email.
Yeah, and they'll also be available on our website, and the slides will be available with links to all of the things we're talking about.
Yes, and I just want to say again, thank you. Our vision is that at some point in the future, and this is what we're working towards, that we will be able to help meet all of your coat needs. One of the things that was really surprising to me last year when we do our partner survey, we asked how many of you received enough coats to provide to your clients. And even though we distributed more than 550,000 coats last year, still 85% of you said you did not receive enough coats. So we are constantly working towards doing a better job, making sure that at some point in the future, that would be the ultimate goal for our team, is to send out that survey at the end of winter and say, did you get enough coats to keep all of your clients warm, and to have 100% of you tell us yes. So I said before, we could not do this without you. Thank you so very much, and thanks for joining us.
We do have
Patty,
a few more questions.
Sorry,
Yeah,
I saw a few more popping up.
What is the time frame, Jen, to get matched with retail partners?
So we're kind of in that season right now. We are still building some of those, kind of what those sponsorships are going to look like. So it just kind of depends on the retail partner and when they want to hold the drive in their store locations. So if we can match you, we will be reaching out to you soon in the next couple of months. We're already starting some. There are some retail locations that they hold it kind of later in the winter. So that's possible, but really throughout until January, even, we're making some of those matches.
Someone asked also, is it appropriate if they are matched with a retailer to share on social that there is a One Warm Coat Drive at that local retail store? And the answer is yes. We often provide that in emails, a little bit of a template, and we encourage you to do that to get more coats for, for your organization. Can you explain the coat drive drop off start and end date for ambassadors and how an agency is finds out if they are matched with a volunteer ambassador?
So volunteer ambassadors, we don't match you with a volunteer ambassador. They find you. So your listing on the nonprofit locator map is really important because let's pretend that I am a volunteer and I held a coat drive with my son's school. I'm going to go onto the nonprofit locator map and search by zip code, and it's going to pull up all of the nonprofit partners near me. It will show your mission, your contact person, your address. So I'm going to reach out to probably the one that's closest to me. And that's why it's important as soon as you hear from them to reach back out to them and let them know, yes, we would love the coats, and then coordinate a time for them to drop them off at your location. And that could happen honestly anytime, really from now through until March, because there are, we don't have a restriction on when ambassadors can hold coat drives. And actually, sometimes they even hold them in the spring for spring cleaning. So the ambassadors will find you. And the best way to make sure that they find you is by posting on social and letting everyone know that you have a need so that people in your community who want to hold a coat drive will know that your agency is looking for coats.
Any more, Patty?
The last one, another one just came in about a list of retailers who are giving away coats this year. Could you go back over that?
So we don't currently have a full list of the retailers. Again, if we are able to match you, it depends on a couple of different things. We do work with J. Crew. We're working with Duluth Trading, Land's End. Those are just a couple of the ones that we're working with this year. It does change every year. So we will definitely reach out to you if we're able to match you with one of the retail locations close to you.
And then a question about, will I receive an application in order to receive coats? So could you speak to that?
Yes, if we have a donation, a zero waste initiative donation, a lot of times those agencies are chosen based on proximity to the warehouse where the coats are stored. And if that's the case, Jen will be reaching out to you and she will send you an application form to complete.
I think a few people are saying that they're new and they're wondering about the application to receive coats. I don't know if it's about zero waste or if maybe there's about the general coat drive program. That's not an application process. So could one of you speak briefly to that?
Sure. Jen, do you want to mention just its registration?
Yeah, so by registering and pretty much what you've already done, that puts you on our nonprofit locator map. So that you've completed your membership. We know that you want to partner with us and that you're in need of coats. So pretty much anyone that's on our nonprofit locator map, we know that you want coats. We don't really have sort of like separate applications for the Zero Waste Initiative or the retail program. It's pretty much every partner, every nonprofit partner that has already applied with us.
Now, if you do happen to be on here and you are not a registered partner, then you would need to go to our homepage, which is just onewarmcoat.org, and click Become a Nonprofit Partner and go ahead and register. And that's really the only, application process that there is.
And then it looks like one final question.
Too,
I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry. I was just going to add that there is the separate registration if you are holding your own coat drive. So maybe somebody was thinking about that too.
And then finally, can we search for our own retailers to partner with in our area?
Yes.
For
Yes.
your own coat drives,
Please.
yes.
Yes, please, again, reaching out to businesses in your community. That's a great way to try to have coat drives and collect the coats that you need.
Seems like that's all of the questions.
Great. Thank you so much, everyone. Jen is happy to answer any questions we didn't get to today. You can email her at agencies@onewarmcoat.org. And I'm wishing everyone a very successful and warm and happy fall and winter season. Thanks so much.